A little say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. First and foremost, we will once again thank each and every one of you and all of you together collectively for the co-creation of this interaction. Each and every time you help co-create such an interaction between our respective civilizations, it gives our world an opportunity to experience through you more of the multidimensional crystal of all that is through each of the unique facets that each of you happen to be. So we thank you for this gift of expansion and sharing. We would like now to discuss the idea we have called building the bridge to 2013 in your terms of counting the years. Now, many people on your planet obviously have been talking about your year of 2012 for quite some time. As you say, it's all the rage. So why are we talking about 2013? I'll tell you, thank you very much. The idea is similar to those that know how to draw. If you are attempting to draw a line from point A through point B to point C, you do not keep your eye on the pencil and follow it as it goes from A through B to C. For if you do that, your line will be very sketchy. If you really wish a straight line from A to C, you simply put your pencil on A, look at C, and just go there. You will see that you have crossed through B automatically. Similar to what you call your martial arts practice of breaking boards, those that understand this practice know that when you break a board, you do not focus on the board. You focus beyond the board, so that you see your hand on the other side of the board, and thus then when you move, the board just gets out of the way. Thus then the idea is that building this bridge to 2013 is the idea of allowing you to streamline your energy, allowing you to move through the idea of the 2012 crossing of the threshold, to focus on the idea of 2013, and to allow the crossing of the threshold thus then to be effortless, so that you can utilize that wave that we have been discussing and simply find yourself on the other side of the threshold, having tipped the scales with no struggle, no strife, no effort, in joy, in love, in creativity, to simply cross that bridge, span the threshold, and allow yourself to arrive, to shift to the parallel reality that is already representative of the concept of 2013 and beyond, so as to not have to focus so much on the idea of all the individual steps that you might believe are in between here and there, and just allow yourself to enjoy the passing, enjoy the ride, enjoy the process of that movement, that experience of that movement, rather than getting stuck on the idea of focusing exactly on that threshold and asking all the questions. What do I do? What do I do? How do I do it? How do I get there? But looking beyond, it is thus then a given, in the same way as has been said many times, both by us and by many people on your planet. If you wish, in that sense, to reach the mountain top, shoot for orbit. For if you don't reach orbit, you will at least reach the mountain top. If, at least in that sense, you wish to reach orbit, shoot for your moon. For if you don't get there, you will at least achieve orbit. If you wish to go to the moon, shoot for the sun. You will at least hit the moon. If you wish to go to the stars, aim for them, and you will at least arrive at the sun. And then you can allow yourself to open your sights to the universe, and thus then automatically find yourself among the stars, without having to think about it, without having to wonder how you got there. By setting your sights farther forward, you will see that you will arrive in the middle where you really need to be, exactly when you need to be there, without a thought, without effort, without struggle, without strife, without necessarily having to plan the whole trip, without too much structure, without too much limitation, without too much rigidity, without too many components, without too many details. For in creating all the different steps and all the different details and worrying each little step and each little detail, oh, what comes next? Now what comes next? Now what comes next? You actually create more time and allow it to take more time because you need more time to support all the details you are creating. But if you look at this idea holistically, as one leap, as a whole idea, it will thus then automatically contain, effortlessly contain, whatever details are truly necessary for that journey, for that experience, for that crossing, and will not contain one detail more than you truly need. Thus then, if you are willing to trust the holistic ride, the holistic experience and expression of your being, you can allow the details to work themselves out. You can know that you are designed as a complete kit, and that as you allow yourself to move forward from that space, from that energy, from that state of being, you'll be able to truly, viscerally, physically, tangibly experience that life already works, that everything falls into place automatically, synchronistically, that you do not necessarily have to engineer or arrange anything intentionally, mentally, so to speak, aside from very, very few things, just to allow the physical mind to participate in the way that gives it just the bare framework it needs to be capable of perceiving and experiencing the ride you are creating in conjunction, in tandem with the higher mind that sees much farther, much broader than the physical mind. So in building this bridge, in engineering this bridge, it really, really requires the idea of truly working, as you say, hand in hand in a true balanced partnership with the higher mind, so that you can begin to truly see as broadly, as far as the higher mind, and allow the physical mind to really begin to relax and enjoy the ride, instead of always thinking that it has to do everything. Has to do this, has to do that, has to pay attention to this, and if it doesn't, we won't make it, we won't get there. It does not require that kind of scrutiny. Life works already. Let it work. Allow it to work. You don't have to make it work. It works just fine already. It was designed to work. If it didn't work automatically, you would be having no experiences at all of any kind. You wouldn't exist. So the idea here in building this bridge and crossing this bridge is also to understand that it is not about getting to a goal. It is not about getting to somewhere you are not. It is not about getting to a destination. It is about truly understanding that the journey is the destination. It is about truly understanding and experiencing that everything is already here. This is the great paradox about building this bridge. While we talk about it in terms of a bridge, it is really, in that sense, not going anywhere. It is a bridge to yourself. It is a bridge to the here, a bridge to the now. In that sense, it is a collapsed bridge, collapsed into itself, containing all the experiences as if it were an expanded bridge, but a bridge that only exists in the here and the now and goes absolutely nowhere else but the here and the now. This is the great PowerPoint of paradox in understanding how to construct this bridge of energy, this bridge of consciousness, this bridge of awareness, that you become truly more aware that everything you will ever experience in your lives is already here, is already now. When you attract something, you never attract it from somewhere else. When you manifest something, you never manifest it by pulling it from somewhere else. You never bring things to you from somewhere else. Manifestation and attraction are the experience of creating a state of being that allows you to perceive what is already here and has always been here but was invisible to you. So this bridge that we are now co-creating together with this energy, with this perspective, is all about leading it into yourself, allowing it to be that which is the permission slip that allows you to cross from one state to another, to shift in a manner that is more in keeping, more in alignment with the vibration of your true self, your core being, your natural self. And thus then in, as you say, quote unquote, crossing that bridge, you are simply shifting vibrational state after vibrational state after vibrational state, and you become more aware of the fact, more viscerally, experientially, tangibly aware of the fact that you're always shifting from parallel world to parallel world, billions of times per second. And this idea of building this bridge will allow you more ability to perceive that shifting that is already going on within you, so that you can understand that it's not really that you're going anywhere. In a sense, it's more that everything is passing through you. As we have said many times, life does not happen to you, it happens through you. You yourself are the fulcrum. You yourself are the threshold. You yourself are the tipping point. You yourself. And you, and I'm speaking to all of you and each of you, you are the only thing in your reality. You are all that is in your reality. Everything you perceive in your reality is made out of your energy, your consciousness. It is a reflection of another aspect, another perspective, another point of view of you. And this is true for all of you and all of us and every being within creation. Each being will discover, as you expand your consciousness more and more and more, and include and become aware more and more of all that is, will discover that in this idea of accelerating, in this idea of raising your frequency, in this idea of ascension, not only in physical reality but beyond, the only thing you will discover at the so-called pinnacle of this ascension is you, more of you, that you are it. And this will be true for everyone, because this is the holographic nature of all that is, that this perspective can be had, can be experienced by every single component, by every single aspect, by every single being within all that is, because every single being contains the whole, and the whole is all of the parts. This is the second law, as we have described it many times. So this bridge, this energy, this shifting energy, this awareness of the shift going on within you all the time and becoming more tangibly aware of it, that is the bridge. That is what you are building, is awareness. Awareness that these parallel realities are constantly shifting through your consciousness, and that you can, while staying on that bridge, while being in that state of being, while spanning any point to any other point, as you consider linear space and time, you are collapsing all those realities into yourself. The bridge collapses into you, and before you know it, you have simply crossed. You simply shift. You simply appear where you wish to be, when you wish to be there, in perfect timing, in perfect synchronicity, in perfect harmony, with everyone else as an orchestration that also needs to be there interacting with you. But again, remember, even though you are interacting with other beings, what you experience yourself interacting with, whom you experience yourself interacting with, is your version of them made out of your own energy, your reflection of them out of your own consciousness, as they reflect to you all the different ideas, all the different perspectives of what it is you are exploring in your theme of exploration of being, your unique aspect of all that is. Is this making some sense to you? Yes. Who said no? If you wish an opportunity for more clarity, say so. Yes, no, maybe?
How do you do that?
How do you do what?
Get to that ease of being able to be in the moment and ride that wave.
Thank you. Good question. Again, I will repeat from another angle. You do not get there. You do not do that. You are already doing it. What we are talking about is not learning how to do something. We are talking about becoming aware that you're already doing it. That's the difference. Has nothing to do with learning how to do anything except be aware that it's already happening. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that make the difference in your consciousness to hear it that way?
Yes.
So the idea really is to relax into the self, relax into the vibration that is truly you, which is often represented in your physical reality by the sensation you call love, joy, creativity, excitement. And by truly acting in that joy, by truly acting on that excitement, by truly being in that state all the time, you will allow yourself more and more opportunity to sense, to feel tangibly, to become aware of the fact that all the things you say you want to do, you're already doing. It's becoming awake and aware of what's already going on. You don't have to learn how to trust. You don't have to learn how to shift. You're already doing these things. It's a matter of paying attention to what you're trusting in. It's a matter of becoming aware that you're already shifting. And it's a matter of allowing yourself intentionally and consciously to become aware of this so that you can know what is representative vibrationally of your true self, and thus then simply allow the manifestation to show you what the symbolic reflection of that state of being is. Does that make sense? Yes. Because physical reality is just a mirror. There is no physical reality except your definition of it. That's all physical reality is your experience of an idea. That's all it is. Does not exist outside you because there is no outside. Outside is just a concept that's inside your consciousness. There is no outside. It's just an idea that you have created in order to experience all that is in a particular way called the space-time linear game. And you create this concept called outside, and you project what is inside into this reflective mirror called outside, and create the experience of interacting with something else, something other than yourself. But it isn't else. It isn't other. It is you. And while you can keep playing this game in any way, shape, or form you want, it doesn't mean you have to stop playing the game. You can certainly play the game more consciously. Yes, of course, while you play the physical game, there will always be some form of what you may call limitation. There has to be. There have to be definitions. There have to be descriptions of the game board. There have to be game rules, in a sense, otherwise you're not playing that game. But none of those rules, none of those descriptions, none of those definitions, the board itself does not in any way, shape, or form limit the kinds of things that you can experience and expand into that are relevant for the full exploration of the theme you chose to explore when you chose to be experiencing yourself in a physical way. Nothing about the game limits you from experiencing your full being in a way that's relevant to the physical reality experience. When you're done with it, you'll go on to something else. You'll go on to spirit experience. You'll go on to other dimensions. It depends on what you wish to do. But the idea is that as long as you are choosing to play this physical game, you can play it in a more masterful way, in a more enjoyable way, in a more effortless way, by really understanding the rules of the game, by really understanding the structure of the game board. You can become a master of this game and play with joy, play with effortlessness. It will always be challenging, yes, of course, because you want the challenge. You want to discover something. You want to experience that which is new. You want to experience surprises and learn something new about yourself from a different point of view, a different perspective, because you cannot have discovery if you don't first forget. So that is the rule of the game. You will forget, And forgetting allows you to have the joyful experience of discovery. What a thrill! So you will not lose that ability while playing the physical game, but you can become very much more aware of more to discover, of more of yourself than you may have heretofore thought there was to discover. You can begin to understand that you are a much bigger being and that you can expand beyond the boundaries you have set for yourself with your limiting definitions, negative belief systems. You will never run out of more of yourself to discover. I guarantee you that. It will never end. Ever, ever, ever end. There will always be a new perspective, always be a new point of view, always be a new way to discover yourself. That is how creation expands. The structure is there already. The structure already exists completely. You will never add to the structure. You will never change the structure. What you change is your point of view of the structure, your perspective of the structure, your relationship to the structure, your experience of the structure. That is what the expansion of awareness is all about. That is how all that is expands and grows, and it's how you expand and grow because you are all that is. Does that make sense? All right, well, we'll see.
Bashar, may I reflect?
Yes.
Bashar, I'm hearing you say that we're living in a dream reality.
Yes.
The experience of our reality is our own personal dream.
Yes.
And that the things that you're helping us with is in form, I'm hearing that you're trying to help us.
I am not trying to do anything.
You are helping me.
I am doing what I do, and if you choose to be helped, thank you.
Thank you. You're helping us to wake up inside the dream.
Yes.
And realize that we are already dreaming, and that the life of our dreams doesn't linger somewhere outside of right now.
Actually, more than that. I am transmitting to you the ideas that allow you to understand you are the dream that you're dreaming. Yes, you see the difference? It's not just waking up in a dream, not just that you are dreaming, it's that you actually are the dream that you are dreaming. Does that help? Or does it confuse you even more?
Could you clarify that?
You are all that is. There is nothing else. Therefore, you are the dream and the dreamer. Yes? Yes. It's the first reflection. You see, there is the one. The one contains everything except an experience of itself. It is homogeneous. It is without time, space, awareness, or any experience. It is just the one. However, within the one, because it contains everything, is also the concept of the other. And as soon as the one had the concept of the other, it became all that is, the first reflection, aware of itself. But that takes a sense or a concept of reflection or otherness to be aware of yourself, because you have to have something to compare yourself to. So as soon as the one, in a sense, became aware of itself, it became all that is. There is nothing else. Everything is made of all that is. Thus, you are all that is, and any experience you have, any dream you are having, is being had by you, from you, about you, in you, made of you, because there is nothing else from which to create anything. There is only you. So everything you experience is made of you, just as everything in creation is made of all that is, because there is nothing else to make anything from. That's why many people in your history have said, just to use your particular terminology, God is omnipresent. Many people on your planet have lost sight as to what that actually means. For something to be truly omnipresent, it actually has to be not only everywhere. The only way it can be everywhere is if it's everything. Many people still confuse this idea and think, well, yes, okay, God is everywhere, but over there, not here. I'm here, but God's over there. Or maybe God comes to within inches of me, or maybe right at my skin, but then there's me. There's still a separation. You have to be made of God because there's nothing else to be made from. There is nothing else. All that is literally all that is, by definition. Therefore, of course, it's omnipresent, because it is everything. That's why it is a misunderstanding when people on your planet talk about the idea of God's will, because they don't understand that God's will is your will. And your will is God's will, because you are a unique perspective of God. And God's will is that you have your own will to be who you are uniquely, so that all that is can experience the unique perspective that you are. So there is no such thing as God forcing its will on anyone. Why would it do that when it's already everything that there is? There's nothing to force its will on, because it's already experiencing every possible perspective it can be experiencing. So what does it need to change? You see the logic of this? Well, there you go.
That's what I was asking. Why the inherent divinity of every individual in creation? Then?
You, as I said, are all that is. Inherently, by definition. You can't be anything else, because there is nothing else in all that is but all that is. So you must be all that is, made of it. Yes?
Yes.
So that's your inherent divinity, if you wish to put it that way. Unless, of course, you are talking about divinity fudge. Oh, all right. Of course, divinity fudge is also all that is. Experiencing itself as fudge. However, what we are saying is that many people get confused and fudge these terminologies. So, they are simple, clear, logical. It is what we call in our reality the science of the obvious. We understand it's not always so obvious to people on different worlds, but nevertheless it's obvious to us. And that's the way we are presenting it to you. And so it is with this concept of the bridge. And remember that this bridge, again, is nothing but a permission slip. That's all it is. Just as any tool, any technique, and any ritual, any object is just a permission slip that you use that aligns with your belief system to allow you to give yourself permission to be more of who you are. The bridge doesn't do anything for you. There is no bridge under your feet. You are the bridge. It's your permission slip. Use it how you will. Let your imagination be your guide, because your imagination is the conduit of communication to your higher mind and your guides. So if you wish to use this bridge idea, the bridge to 2013, then let your imagination play with it. Stretch it, shrink it, collapse it, elongate it. Do whatever you wish to with it. It's an idea. It's a permission slip. It's a concept. It's a perspective. It's a point of view. We know that it will, in some way, shape, or form, leak in to your being, leak into your physical consciousness. It will reframe and rewire some of your circuitry in certain ways to allow you more opportunity to experience more of all that is, more of yourself in a variety of ways. And this bridge and the crossing experience that goes hand in hand with it is all about also allowing yourself to begin to truly feel the acceleration. And again, remember, the acceleration doesn't mean you're going somewhere else faster. It means you're shifting faster through different parallel realities right where you are. Now, really, not really faster in your terms, because the rate is constant. You're already shifting as fast as you can be. So when we say you're shifting faster, what are we saying? You're becoming more aware of the speed at which you're already shifting, and thus it feels faster. It's experienced as acceleration when you become more aware of the rate at which you're already shifting, which in physical terms is billions of times per second, and which from another point of view is infinitely fast. But since you created the concept of physical reality, then there has to be an actual frame rate, a time rate. Shall we say, there has to be a tick of a clock. But the tick of the clock, even in physical terms, is billions of times per second. A tick, in physics terms, is exactly the length that you call the Planck length. That's the tick of the clock. Thus then, you are literally shifting through billions of parallel reality frames every second so smoothly that it seems like an unbroken continuity. And thus then you have the opportunity to know that as you make the next tick more different, as you allow yourself to shift to a parallel reality in the next tick of the clock that's more different than the one that was there before, you will start to experience the fact that you're shifting more. You will not have so much of a sense of continuity. You'll still retain some, but you won't have as much of a smooth sense of continuity. Things will start jumping around. Things will just miraculously start appearing here and there. Time and space will become more slippery. You'll suddenly just arrive at places where you didn't think you had time to arrive, because time doesn't matter anymore. Timing does. It's a very different perspective, and more of you will start to experience this as you accelerate through the crossing of this threshold into your year of 2013 and beyond. And tomorrow night of your time, we will talk a little bit more about the idea of the experience of crossing this bridge. But now we are laying down the template, laying down the foundation of building this bridge by discussing these things in this way, which we know are having different effects for each and every one of you and rewiring your brains in certain ways that are germane and relevant for you. Don't worry, you will get exactly what you need, exactly when you need to. That's how it works. Now, allow yourselves to simply relax and know that whatever information needs to sink in will sink in, that there are no accidents, it's all an orchestration. You know exactly what you're doing, even if you don't know that you do. But you do. So let that in. Allow yourself to know in this moment, as you stand in the center of that bridge, you know what you're doing, even if you don't know that you do. Allow yourself to trust that. Allow yourself to trust the higher mind. Allow yourself to trust the physical mind. Allow yourself to trust the themes you chose to explore, which are represented by the challenges you experience in physical reality. And please remember, challenge does not need to be defined in a negative way. Challenges are fun. They are the foundation of the discovery of more of yourself. That's all they are. It's the only thing you will ever discover in the unknown. More of yourself, because there is nothing else. Simple logic, simple awareness, the science of the obvious. In return for allowing us to share this perspective,